Welcome everybody to our graduate statistics course. Our course is in person, but unfortunately I won't be able to be there with you in our first day of class. So I'm recording this video to introduce you to our course page on Canvas and to introduce you to R and RPosit Cloud, where you will be doing a lot of your analysis work. So let's get started. I'm not assuming you know about our course, about UC's website and how to get to Canvas. So we will start there. So if you go to your browser and type uc.edu, you will get to our UC's homepage. If you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you will find the Canopy and Canvas link. If you click on this link, you will go to the intranet. If there is a page before that, you might need to pick if you're a student, a staff member. And so you pick that you're a student and you should fall into this Bearcats Landing page. Then you go to intranet, which is the content available only for us internal to UC. And you should find Canvas right there at the bottom where my cursor is, which I hope you can see. If you click on Canvas, among your published courses, you will find our stats course, Grad Stats 1. So again, welcome to our course. This course was specially designed for students enrolled in the Masters in Psychology program, or Terminal Masters. And I'm looking forward to a terrific semester with all of you. This course will introduce you to the discipline of statistics as a science of understanding and analyzing data. Throughout the semester, you will learn how to effectively make use of data to make well-informed decisions in the face of uncertainty. To achieve this outcome, classes will be focused on strategies to explore, summarize, and analyze data in a way that supports evidence-based inferences and conclusions about real-world phenomena. Learning outcomes. Number 1, to recognize the importance of data collection, identify limitations in data collection methods, and determine how they affect the scope of inference. Use the computing software, RStudio, to summarize data numerically and visually and to perform inference with statistics. R is a very popular software nowadays. You learn rudimentary skills in programming, and note, don't be afraid or anything. I'm not assuming that you know any programming in advance, but it's a good opportunity to develop that skill. Have a conceptual understanding of inference with statistics. Apply estimation and testing methods to analyze single variables or the relationship between two variables in order to understand real-world phenomena and make data-based decisions. Model numerical response variables using a single or multiple explanatory variables. Report results correctly and effectively to specialized and general audiences. And critique data-based claims and evaluate data-based recommendations or conclusions in scientific work. Our course structure, let me give you an overview. We're in-person course, but we use a flipped methodology. This means that you're expected to come prepared to class. So there will be work that you do before class, and that will be work that you do after class. To prepare, you will need to watch lecture videos and take a comprehension check quiz. When required, which will be a few of the weeks, you will also complete an application activity that will require you to use the content you learned to make sense of findings of a study and or critique the interpretation of an article by the authors or by popular media. All materials you need for this preparation will be available on your Canvas page, on our Canvas page. In the first part of class, so that's preparation, you come into class. First part will warm up with a problem designed to expand your statistical literacy, and will really be used to apply some of the conceptual topics that you would have been introduced to during the video lectures. You will then have the opportunity to ask questions about video lectures and quiz. I will then check understanding of materials through a variety of activities to help you. Each day will be a different activity. That's what I mean. And it could be revising the application activity. It could be Socratic questioning. It could be a variety of activities. But the point is that I'll try to use means to determine if you got the concept and allow for difficulties to show up so I can try and address them. Once that part is done, we'll perform a guided hands-on activity in R designed to develop the technical skills to apply the concepts discussed and learned to the analysis of data, to respond questions, to address real-world problems. It will be a different one every time. You will then perform a data analysis activity independently at home to reinforce what you learned in class. So that's more or less how it's going to go every week. So to summarize, in a typical week, you will do a data analysis activity to apply what you learned that week and activities that will prepare you for the following class. The expectation is that you reserve 5 to 6 hours a week to do work outside of class, which is the average time our students have taken in the past to complete their activities. Yes, it's quite a bit of time, but statistics is not an spectator sport. The inability to find time to dedicate to the proposed activities each week is the primary reason for students to struggle in this course. And the ability to dedicate this time, students that do sit and study and use the time to work on the activities tend to succeed in the course. Again, 5 to 6 hours is average. Some of you will succeed in the class taking less time than that, and some of you will require a little more time depending on your level of comfort with statistics, mathematics, programming, and so on. Now, the second reason for struggles is taking the time to dedicate to activities, hitting roadblocks, and not trying to address the difficulties you're having. So, not reaching out as difficulties arise is a problem. We very much want to support you through the challenges, but we only have a chance to do that if you let us know, if you give us the opportunity to do so. So please manage your time wisely each week so you can get help as needed. This means start on assignments as soon as you can, so that when you have difficulties understanding the materials or performing a given activity, there is time for the class TA, Dalton, and I, Paula, to help you make progress before the deadline for assignment submission each week. You can expect to hear from us within 24 hours of your contact. As you see on the syllabus, our primary way of communication will be through the forums that I will set up on Canvas. So if the question is not personal, if it's not very specific to something about your progress in the course, if it's a general question about content, a question about the difficulty you're having when doing the activity, we want that to be posted in the forum because for sure your question might help somebody else. But we'll talk about that more specifically, because the syllabus has more details. But this is the general overlook of the course. So now if you go to the syllabus link, and I want to go to student view so that you're looking only at what will be there for you, you see the syllabus here and what activities are going to be due and upcoming. So the syllabus, let's go over that. It will take a minute to upload. There you go. So again, my name is Paula Silva. I think I didn't say that, but I met most of you. I will meet, if I have not met yet, most of you during orientation. So Paula Silva. I can take office hours by appointment. The course TA is Dalton Cooper, and his email is there as well, and he will take office hours by appointment as well. So we went through the course description, and I want to do a little disclaimer here that a lot of the slideshows that I use are created using materials and data examples developed by mine, Setinkaya Rundle and her colleagues, and made available through OpenIntro.org via the CC by SA license. So I use a bunch of materials and inspiration from those materials, and I've been expanding and changing over time. The content of the course was developed inspired by Dr. Rundle's amazing stats sequence on Coursera, Statistics with R specialization. I took the course myself to learn how to teach R in the context of an introductory course, and ended up completely reshaping the way I teach stats inspired by her. So I wanted to give a shout out to her here. I hope you enjoy the course as much as I do. So if you are not sure why you should be interested in stats, please click on this link and hear this out, because those are data scientists talking about it. So please take a minute to watch. You can pause this video and do that right this second, or do it at the end. So we went through learning outcomes. Required materials are the OpenIntro Statistics. It's a book that's freely available online in PDF form. If you want the physical copy, you can purchase that. But I will make electronic copy of the relevant chapters for the different modules available to you, so it's easy to get your supplementary reading. So you have to create an RPosit account. You can currently create this account for free. During the semester, I might request you to sign up for an account. The expected cost, if it becomes if it becomes a paid thing, should be $5 to $10. Nothing very expensive. But at the moment, I can sign up for an account as an instructor. I can pick up the cost, and you guys can all sign through the course for free. And that's where we're starting, unless our RPosit changes the game in the middle. So I'm just forewarning you. But this would be the only cost, if it comes up, that you will have to incur with this statistics course. Everything else is open source, open science. You can freely have access to everything. So no knowledge of programming is assumed. One more time with feeling. For students entering this course, only openness to learn. Instructions on how to create your account will be provided in the first week of class. We went over class structure. Let me say more about communication with me and the TA one more time. Any non-personal questions related to class materials, to quizzes, to activities should be posted on weekly forums that will be available on our courses Canvas page. Okay? Even the independent activity, yes, I hope that you're trying your hand on it by yourself, but if you're running into questions, please post them there and I will answer. And then other people that tried and are hitting some brick walls will look at our forum to see if maybe somebody else asked the question that they needed to get unstuck. If not, ask the question and we'll be checking this every day and posting answers, okay? Both Dalton and I will be on the lookout. Now, importantly, students are expected to answer questions as well to help your colleagues. And the top 10 participants will earn 2 extra credit. And it's, a great way to learn to try and address other people's questions. So please do so. When you post, please use informative titles for them, so it's easy for people to know what you're asking about and easily locate your post if they have a similar question. We're a learning community. Let's behave like that, right? And again, you're of course welcome to email us in case of personal issues or questions that are specific to you or your performance in the course. If we feel you're asking a question that could benefit others, we'll ask you, could you please post this question there? Or we'll say, can we post the question there on your behalf and answer in the forum. Readings. Every week there are recommended readings meant to complement and reinforce the content covered on the videos. These readings are mostly from our textbook, Open Intro. There might be other types. It's not mandatory that you read them, but because people have different styles of learning, some will do best listening to the lecture videos, some will do best by reading the materials, some will do best by a combination of both. Please use the resources as you feel is needed for you to successfully complete the comprehension check questions and to complete our activities to apply the content in a variety of ways. Okay? All right, graded assignments. What do we have? We have our comprehension check. Again, these are low-stake assignments designed to check your comprehension of the materials that you're engaging with to prepare for class. So on a typical week, this assignment will be due Monday by 2 p.m. before our class. So this is supposed to be, you're watching the videos and reading is supposed to be preparation for class. So the comprehension check needs to be done prior to class. Even though it is in your best interest to complete all assignments, if you miss up to 2 of them due to personal circumstances, there will be no penalty. Use this provision wisely. Application activity, 5% of total grade. These assignments are designed, again, to help you apply statistical concepts you're learning in this class, to check your comprehension of a scientific article and critique its conclusions. Again, it's critical that you try to do this prior to class. You're, watching the video, reading if you feel the need to. Now, let's see if I can do something. If I can use this to interpret the findings of an article, to read the statistical and the results of an article and understand it and answer some questions about it that either the authors concluded, critically analyze the conclusions of the author or of the media that picked up the article and presented the results in the way that they thought was most appropriate. But now I wish you to get the skills to be able to then go back to the source and say, is this presentation by this pundit really warranted, or are we exaggerating here? This is the goal. We want this to be meaningful to you and to your life. So those activities are for that as well. Then there will be the guided analysis activities, which you will do in class. Very low stakes, again, designed for practice with data analysis. You'll have a chance to complete this activity in class. If you do not manage to finish it, or if you miss class, there will be supporting videos that you can watch me reason through each of the questions in the guided activity. It is more time consuming for students that miss class and will have to watch the videos to do it, but some report benefiting from it. So on a typical week, this assignment is due Monday by midnight. The goal is for you to submit it in class before you leave. Okay, but if you don't, then you can submit it until the end of the day of that class. Again, it should be your interest to do all of them, but if you miss up to 2, no harm, no fault. Okay? Again, there will be keys to the guided activity, in addition to the videos that gives you all the responses that will be keys to the guided activity, a fully completed assignment for you to look back into it and check your answers. And if you're thinking you can simply save the guided activity key that will be made available to you with your name and submit, you are correct. Dalton and I would never know. And if you submit, you get 100% on the assignment. Needless to say, we strongly discourage you to simply put your name on the key that's there and submit, because the guided activity is absolutely critical for you to learn the skills required to perform the independent activity successfully and to perform the exams successfully. So you have the independent analysis activity to do at home. So in addition to the prep activities, comprehension check and application activity, you will have the independent analysis activity to do at home to reinforce the content that you learned in class. So we prepare, we come to class, we check our comprehension, we discuss a bit of the materials you engaged with to prep for class. Then we do a guided activity, which is a hands-on analysis project. Then you should be finished in class with that activity. But if you missed class, there will be videos you can do at home. And the independent analysis activities is an activity that you do that's akin to the one that you've done in class as guided activity, that you use the technical skills you've learned there, but now you're going to do one independently. And that's the one Dalton you grade and provide you feedback on. Okay? So these assignments, again, of the independent analysis will target the material covered that week, but will typically build upon knowledge of previous classes. So you need to figure out, really understand what the different codes are that we're using in the guided activity, because those are going to be the ones you will need to do your independent activity. And you might have to go back and use code from prior activities to complete it. The weekly deadlines for this independent activities report will be discussed in class together, because I wish to have two different schedules. One for people who work during the weekdays, so they leave class and they want to get done and get their feedback before the next class. So there will be a schedule for those people, and there might be people that say, I will need the weekend to work on the activity, and then we'll have a different schedule for those students. Okay, I will work with Dalton in coming up with a plan, and I'll describe that to you in our first in-person meeting. Exams, 35% of total grade. There will be 2 of them, a midterm and a final. The exams are designed to give you a taste for what it means to problem solve using statistics. We'll use real-world problems and use data capturing the actual results of scientific research. And to be successful here, you will need to understand the problem at hand and use the provided data to make decisions and recommendations around the problem at hand. You will have to determine which analysis to use. And in that sense, it's going to be harder than the independent activities. And identify the code that is required to implement it. Again, your host of code will be bigger for that than for the independent activity. This will be more challenging, again, than the homework assignments, because for the homework, the required data analysis is implied by the topic of the week, and the code is the one you just used on the guided activity. Again, you will not be required to code anything from scratch in the exams, but you will require to know enough about the codes used in the guided activities to find them and adapt them to the problems and data sets that you will be working with. So the first exam will be worth 15% of your total grade, and the second exam 20% of your total grade. Again, those are higher stakes assignments, but you will be fully prepared for them if you dedicate enough time to work on the weekly guided activities and the weekly independent data analysis assignments and reports. The exams give you a taste of what working as a data analyst looks like. There is one other activity that's not here and I will add, which is the reports, which is worth 15% of your grade. And I will talk about them with you when they come up. The important piece to know here is that those reports will be connected to your independent activity. So you will do an analysis project and I'll ask you to write a report in Word document for a lay audience, for general public, without using statistical jargon, describing the work that you have done, describing the problem, the findings, without using statistical jargon. You can choose to write it in Word or do a quick 10 to 15 minute presentation in PowerPoint and record it, and this will be the report. So the plan here is for you to do the nitty-gritty work of a data analyst and say, okay, how do I communicate this finding to a general audience that I might be interested in talking to as a professional, as a friend, as a family member. Values statement: I'm committed to the fundamental principles of academic freedom and human dignity. Diversity in all forms is something I welcome, I foster, and I prize. I believe that honest attempts to understand the perspectives of others facilitate learning, and together we will strive to achieve this goal at all times. I strongly disavow discrimination, including harassment, on the basis of race, national or ethnic origin, religion, sex or gender identity, disability, age, sexual orientation, or veteran status. I expect that each of us will hold one another accountable for maintaining those ideals. Each one of you belong in here in our learning community. Together we can make this class a safe space for everyone to show up as they are and put in their best effort to learn and grow. So here is a statement on academic integrity. Please know that you are to abide by the Student Code of Conduct, and please take a look at them on the Canvas page. Accessibility resources. So students with disability do have the right to full and equal access at the University of Connecticut at Cincinnati. The Accessibility Resources Office on each campus will work with you and your instructors to identify reasonable accommodations to ensure an equitable opportunity to meet all requirements for your course. Accessibility Resources is also a resource for coordinating access and accommodation to all non-academic programs and opportunities available to UC students and potential students. Please contact Accessibility Resources if you feel you need accommodation, if you're seeking accommodations, okay? If you do not have a documented disability, other support services in the Learning Commons, including Academic Writing Center, are available to all students. Student religious accommodations for courses policy. So Ohio law and the university's student religious accommodations for courses permits a student upon request to be absent for reasons of faith or religious or spiritual belief system, or participate in organized activities conducted under the auspices of a religious denomination, church, or other religious or spiritual organization, in order to receive alternative accommodations with regard to examinations and other course requirements due to an absence permitted by the above described reasons. Not later than 14 days, though, after the first day of instruction in the course, a student should provide me with written notice of the specific dates for which you're requesting alternative accommodations. For additional information about this policy, you can contact the Executive Director of the Office of Equal Opportunity and Access. mental health. The prevalence of mental health issues among students is recognized in all parts of the world. There is a growing realization that graduate students face a distinctive set of challenges arising from issues such as expectations of high achievement, supervisory relationships, and career insecurity. I recognize that academic environments can be at the same time enriching and stressful. UC has resources you can access if you believe you're experiencing anxiety, depression, trauma and assault, adjustment to graduate student life, interpersonal relational difficulty, family conflict, grief and loss, disordered eating and body image, alcohol and substance abuse, anger management, identity development and issues related to diversity, concerns associated with sexual orientation, or spirituality concerns. If you have any of those concerns, please use those 2 resources below. And remember, you're not alone. Dalton, not Val, I'll fix this, are here to support your learning, and we hope you will be there for each other. But I wanted to say that there are resources at UC and beyond to support students who are from minority groups. A list of initiatives can provide such resources: ANS Cares, Student Diversity and Inclusion Council, MS Teams group for UC students who are parent or expecting, Women Helping Women, Help for Student Victims and Student Survivors, African American Cultural and Resource Center, LGBTQ Center Resources, Office of Ethnic Programs and Services, identity-based initiatives such as Asian Pacific Islander, Latinx, Native American, undocumented, and DACA students. Okay. Here's our class schedule. This is what we're going over. This is the end of course introduction, and I'll record a different video to introduce you to our studio and to our Posit Cloud where we'll do your activities. Okay. Before I do that, I will take you through the Canvas page a bit more. I'll close the syllabus. If you look at the modules, you see that the first module is available here. And for every module, you have class prep materials. And here you have the course introduction and introduction to RStudio. You will find everything you need from this class in here, from each class in here to prepare. So you go over the learning outcomes, the checklist for that week. All the video lectures will be here. And then all information for the guided activity that we do in class will also be here in case you missed class or in case you couldn't finish the activity in class and you want to review it. It's going to be here as well. And it's this link that you have to click to also do your independent activities. Your independent assignments will also be listed here with the due date. Okay? For assignments that are already posted, you'll be able to see them here as well. And you'll also be able to notice them in your calendar. So if you go to September, that's when they are due. Okay? So, if we go to courses and back here, your grades will be here. And I think that's pretty much all the items that you use most. Okay? Syllabus, the modules. So every week, here's where your material will be. And your assignments that you have to do. Okay? So if there is a comprehension check, that's where it will show up as well. Okay? So I will record another video in order to introduce you to RStudio Cloud, how to get there, how to set it up, and then you'll be able to do the guided activities for this week following the videos that are in there. Thank you. Bye-bye.